welcome to Stunning Sadie. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. So let's start with the whole reason you clicked on this video, which is the red flags of friendship. Specifically, friendship with Bumble. Okay, I have my list, I have my notes. Let's begin. So I moved to a new state. And when I moved to a new state, I didn't know anybody. I just knew my husband. So I wanted to make some friends. And I saw an ad and it said Bumble BFF. And I'm like, wait, I thought Bumble was just like a romance, like a dating site. And it is. But they have Bumble BFF, they have Bumble for dating, and they actually have Bumble for, I believe, work, like people looking to like network. So I thought that was very interesting. So I signed up for Bumble BFF. I made my profile. I wrote down close to the city I was in. I didn't say exactly the city I was in. And yeah. So let's start with the red flags, right? Let's get into it. So one thing I really saw that was like off-putting for me was a lot of profiles said, my husband is my only friend. What do you mean your husband is your only friend? Like, what happened to your friends? Did you have any before you met your husband? Were you just like a loner? Like, what's going on? Like almost, I swear to you, there were so many profiles was my husband is my only friend. And I couldn't fathom that because I'm like, were you not a separate person before this man? Anyway, there's a show, I believe it's discontinued. I think they had 2 or 3 seasons. I might be overdoing it. It might be 2 seasons. And the show it's called Dollhouse. And it also has Brenda songs in it. And it's a show about a woman who lives with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend breaks up with her. And now she has to navigate going back into the single world. And she tries to get back with her friends. And her friends are looking at her like they really make her work for it because they're looking at her like, girl, you totally ghosted us. Now, why would I want to be friends with somebody who got so wrapped up in their husband that now when their husband is possibly going on boys trips or fishing trips or whatever men do, I don't know too much about what men like to do, whatever they do, right? And now you're looking for friends because you're in the house by yourself because you neglected the friendships you had before the wedding, before the relationship. No, thank you. So I do deem that as a red flag. If your husband is your only friend, what did you do, honey? Did you just ignore those girls? Did you ignore them? Because I think you did. And I don't need you to start ignoring me now. Once he stops being less busy and you're just trying to find a friendship to pass the time. Now, let me know in the comments how you feel about that. Let me know if you are one of those people. Okay? Tell me, why did you lose your friends? Where did your friends go? Did they just poof? What happened? Okay, next red flag. Trauma dumping immediately. Once you trauma dump to me, if I don't know your mother's last name, your mother's date of birth, the location she was born in, why are you trauma dumping to me about your uncle? Why are you trauma dumping me about the roaches you ate in your childhood? Why are you trauma dumping all of these things? I just met you. I said, hi, hello, how are you? And now I know your whole life story and how you had to claw your way out of a hole. I I did not ask for this. I am right now a total stranger. And this is making me uncomfortable. How do you know that I'm in the correct mental space to handle this trauma dump right now? I honestly, when people trauma dump on me and I don't know them very well, I completely black out their name and I just call them trauma dumper. Like, I will legit talk to my mom and say, oh, trauma dumper was talking to me today. And she'll be like, what is this person's name? And I'll be like, it doesn't matter because they're just going to trauma dump on me. I think the only reason they know my name is so they can tell me more about the trauma that they've been through. And yeah, I'm good. And I view trauma dumping as like a way to, like, maybe it's a way for them to connect and lash on. But for me, it's a red flag. I run away when you're trauma dumping. Now, listen, if I'm walking on the sidewalk and maybe you're in front of your doorstep and you're on the steps and you're crying, and this is a moment where you're like, I'm walking into something like that, it's different. But for you to just see me and say, hey, just so you know, I'm not going to say anything trauma, because I'm not going to trauma dump on you. Okay? I was just going to say an example, but I'm not even going to do that kind of example, because how do I know you have the mental capacity right now to be trauma dumped on? You might not, you know? Sometimes maybe like before you're about to trauma dump on somebody, even if they're close, ask them, hey, I do want to let this thing out. I do want to vent to you, but do you have the mental capacity right now to handle that? Can you hold space for me in this moment? If they can, respect that boundary. Yeah, but also stop trauma dumping to strangers. If this is resonating with you, don't do that, girl. Because some people might like it. I don't know why. And others, like me, would really not want to be around you, because it's very, oh my gosh, do you know Winnie the Pooh and then his gang of friends, Eeyore, the ones like, hi, I'm Eeyore. Yeah. It kind of brings the room, it kind of brings you down, especially with a stranger. If I met Eeyore and the first thing Eeyore did was start trauma dumping on me, I'm like, I gotta go. I'm not saying that you can't talk about how you're feeling. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying to strangers, honest, okay, hold on. Let me go on a rant, okay? Rant uploading. I don't get, and the reason I don't get it is because I wouldn't do it myself. I don't get how people go on TikTok and say all the horrible things their husbands or their wife has done, and then turn around and say, well, you don't know the whole story. You don't know the whole story. Well, the story that you sold was a lot of trauma dumping. You know, at a certain point, this might be a stretch, but some of these stories might need a warning. Like your trauma dumping story, I'm going to need a warning. Okay. I'm going to need a trigger warning, trauma dumping, immensing. Okay. Like, let me know so I can swipe before I think, oh, this is about to be a girly pop story. This is about to be so cute. And it's really about your husband wilding out on you, or your wife wilding out on you. And now you want to show the whole world this. Now you want to trauma dump on millions of people, millions of strangers. You know what? I'm not going to say it. The rant shut down. It's done now. As you can see, I stay away. I stay away from those trauma dumpings. One-sided energy. Okay. It's pretty clear what this is. This is probably the easiest red flag, when somebody is just giving you one-sided. Let's say I say, hey, girl, and the person writes back, hey, what's up? I'm like, I'm good. How are you? And then a day goes by, and then 2 days go by, and then 3 days go by, and then like, I'm fine. girl, you couldn't write me this. You couldn't write fine in like 2 seconds 3 days ago. Yeah, no, I'm good. Because let me make this clear. If you're not going to show effort in the beginning, it's not magically going to appear later on. Now, there are chances where it does, but do you want to wait around to find out? Because I don't. You got one time. And if you were able to explain it and I can be understanding, then yes, but I know what I know who I am. I know how great of a friend I am. I know how lovely, how caring, how charismatic I am. And I'm not going to spread that love, that energy, that stunningness if it's not going to be reciprocated. It doesn't have to be reciprocated exactly in my way, but the baseline is in fact, responding back. So that one-sided energy doesn't last long for me either. That is definitely a red flag for me. Oh God, here's the other one. I don't have friends because drama. I don't have friends because girls are too much. I don't have friends because people are fake. I don't have friends because, here's a crazy one. I much rather have guy friends. I just don't get along with women. What do you mean you don't get along with your own gender? There's not a woman on this planet that you can get along with? Okay, let's unpack some of this. Let's unpack. Why do you associate women with drama? Why do you associate women with messiness? Why do you say girls are too much? Or, oh, I'm a tomboy and a lot of girls don't like doing the things I like to do. What? Not every girl is into makeup and high heels. There are plenty of women who are building things, going fishing, very athletic, and they're also liking makeup too. For me, when somebody says that, I kind of look at them like, literally look up how many women are on this planet, and you're saying that you cannot find one woman to be friends with. And now listen, those statements I said before, yes, women can be messy, but it's genderless, okay? People can be messy. People can be dramatic. People can be fake. Yeah. I just don't, I don't know if there's something wrong with me, but I don't understand how you cannot find at least one woman that you can be friends with. That to me, I again, maybe because I can't fathom it, I just don't understand. So, yeah, I'm not here to audition for to be the difference. If you don't think that there's anything different, then I'm gonna let you just keep thinking that and find somebody else to be friends with that do not automatically hate women. Because that's what it comes down to me. In my opinion, you don't like women. You might even hate women as a woman yourself. And I cannot get down with something like that. I cannot. As much as women have hurt me, men have hurt me too. So I'm not going to just all of a sudden rule out an entire gender because of those experiences, because I know that those experiences are not entirely true for everyone, every woman on this planet. It's just not correct. Yeah, that one kind of like, but aesthetic friends, definitely a no. What do I mean by aesthetic friends? People that have to look a certain way to hang out with each other. Yeah, like certain criterias, like, oh, we all have to look like this and we all have to wear like that. Think of Mean Girls. There was certain criteria that those um, those girls needed to have to be part of the group. Like they wore pink on Wednesdays. Like, what if you didn't want to wear pink? What if you didn't own any pink? What if that's not what you wanted to do? Were you not allowed to sit with them? And my guess was I don't believe you were allowed to sit with them on Wednesdays if you wasn't wearing pink. So there were like certain things that needed to be in order. And that's not something I want in a friendship. I love for my friends to be different and have their own aesthetics and have their own lifestyles. You know, as long as I see that they're genuine and they really like, we have healthy boundaries, we have like healthy communication, I'm fine with you being emo, one being sporty, and me being preppy. Like, I'm perfectly fine with that kind of friendship. Okay, let's see what else. Constant negativity. I guess this coincides with something else I said, but yeah, back to the Eeyore comment with Winnie the Pooh. Just somebody who's all they do is complain. The sun rises and sets with a complaint. The complaints just keep running on and running on. At this point, you can't even get a word in. There is no words. That you can fill the ocean with the complaints that they have spreaded through the morning to the night. I cannot stand constant negativity. It is a downer. It sinks me down. I'm like, oh. I'm a very, very, very optimistic person. My husband he adores that about me. He's like, oh, you're so optimistic. And I think I have to be. I have to be. It's not to say that I can't be sad and I don't cry. I cry a lot. I love to cry. I love a good release. I love a good cry. But back to what I was saying, yeah, constant negativity. Every topic is a complaint about work, life, dating. There's only so much complaining that a person can stand. You know, I would like to talk about other topics. Listen, it's not to say that we can't talk about the way of the world or the tabloids or the food, but we gotta lighten it up. I don't want to leave a conversation and feel drained. I don't want to feel like you're a vampire. You're sucking the life out of me. Like, no, thank you. So I put that as a red flag. A constant negative person. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. No respect for your boundaries. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. So let's do a Bumble story. I matched up with this girl and we agreed that we were going to go to a bar and meet up. And so I'm texting her, she's texting me, and we're about to meet. And so I told her, like, I don't want to like meet anybody. I don't want a group thing. Like, I just want a one-on-one. Like, that's my way of, like, that's how I want to meet people. So I can like literally just focus on the one person and see how we vibe. And you are the person that's like, it's just you and me speaking. And so I get there and I see where, I'm checking my candle. I see where she is and I see her around a group of girls. And she was like, oh, I figured let's do a Bumble meetup. So I drove here 40 minutes and we agreed that it was just, or at least I voiced my boundary that I just wanted to meet you. I wanted to do one-on-one with you. And there's 4 other people that you matched up with Bumble that I may have matched up and I didn't get along with them and unmatched with them. And now I got to sit here and talk to these people. So I turned my butt around And I walked right out of that bar. She was like, oh, what happened to you? Da, da, da. I said, I'm not comfortable with meeting a whole bunch of people all at once when that was not what we agreed upon. She did get a little attitude. And yeah, I kind of like deleted that with her too, because I was like, So if somebody is not respecting your boundaries, especially in the beginning, like if you say, hey, I just want to meet with you one-on-one the first time, like maybe later we can meet like a group of people, and they decide not to listen to that, that's a boundary. They just crossed the boundary. I told her she wanted to get all rah-rah, and that's fine. If that's how she wants to respond to the situation, I responded how I wanted to. She responded how she wanted to. And if somebody's not respecting your boundaries, that's a red flag. It's time to go. Time to pack it up, girl. Keep walking. Okay, that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this video and you stay tuned for the next one. I post a video every Saturday. I know I don't voice it enough that I do every Saturday, but check out my other videos.